I thought about it a long time, and finally I just felt like I was ready. There were three things I was looking at. First of all, my body's getting older, and I thought maybe I should stretch and be less vigorous, but more intense in some other ways, just to keep my body supple and not look like an old lady. And the second reason was, I think there's this mind-body harmony, and I wanted to know more about that and where all this came from and why certain people think this way and behave this way. And the third reason was because I know Sil, and she has this wonderful perspective on life that is so rational and reasonable and humorous. And I just thought, I need to approach life like that. Mind, body, spirit, freights together just right. It's like taking a college class, only better. I mean, there's so much information and insight into humanity and maybe before and after humanity and working with others and just physiology. It's just a wealth of information and exchange. There's no negative aspect to it. If you're thinking about doing something, even if it's just what you learn and who you hang out with, it's worth doing. It's worth the money, it's worth the time. It's just an enrichment in life that you don't get anywhere else.
The reason I decided to do the White Mountain Yoga training, in addition to the training I had already done previously, was because I felt like I needed something more, like there was something missing, that I needed obviously to fill in some holes. And it just felt, my previous training was a little bit more mechanical, but in the end, this White Mountain Yoga training, really allowed me some more flexibility and really liberated my style of teaching. The biggest surprise was that it not only enlightened my yoga teaching, but it also really it did change my life. It brought on, it opened up some things I had never thought about. It explored different things I didn't even think existed, and it really, it touched every part of my life and not just my yoga practice. Life before White Mountain Yoga training was kind of crazy, chaotic, could never really, deal with things that came up, and it was just, survival, basically. And after White Mountain Yoga training, I kind of gained tools to mold my life in a way that was productive, but also dealing with things as they happened, and that life became more calm, and I could come to grips with reality and just that everything in life was good. Even the hard stuff is good. And so that would be the big difference from the before White Mountain Yoga and the after. My yoga practice has become phenomenal. It's more explorative, and I often get sort of these huge epiphanies, these visionary experiences almost of just this opening up of the heavens that just before was so mechanical, but now is just, I've said it before, but it just liberates you. So now my yoga practice it's beyond the mat, literally.
I decided to take the teacher training at White Mountain Yoga in order to deepen my practice. I really had no intention of teaching at that point. But through the course of the 2 weeks, it became clear to me that would be my path, was to teach yoga.
I think the biggest aha moment for me during the training was just realizing the field of information that's out there. And Sil did a great job of kind of bringing that into kind of the sort of the Western thought, or somewhere that I could cognitively grasp some of that information. And it just was really, I don't want to, kind of mind-blowing, all that stuff. So anyway, it was really great to have access to some of that information and to realize what's out there, and it's an amazing world around us. So it changed my yoga practice dramatically. As soon as I completed the training, I began to be a lot more diligent in my daily yoga practice, and my yoga practice became more intense and I was able to achieve things that I never thought I would be able to achieve in yoga, and it's really been an awesome experience, life-changing. I would totally recommend it to anyone who's interested, but I would especially recommend it to somebody that's hesitant, maybe thinking that they can't be a yogi or don't have a yoga body or they're too old. I'm 48. So it's really never too late to kind of get into this and get this information. I think it's really valuable.
I've been a massage therapist for 15 years, and so I have a good education in anatomy, and I have a lot of clients that need specific therapy work. They're rehabilitating from surgeries or other injuries. And the reason that I chose specifically to come to Bodhi Yoga for my teacher training is that I examined some of the other programs that are available, and they have a pretty rote or a pretty routine thing that they teach. They don't teach unique to the individuals. They don't teach you how to work with injuries and rehabilitation, and that's where my focus is. I want to have classes that are unique to myself as well as to the clients that I'm working with. Through the time that I've been working with Bodhi Yoga and learning to teach, it has solidified my own understanding of what I'm doing with the yoga, as well as helped me to be aware that even more aware that each body is unique. Somebody who is having a struggle getting into a particular pose, it could be because there's a muscular imbalance or an injury, but it could also be just because that's the way their body's built and that is how the pose is going to look for them. But it helps me with my own practice and learning to relax and not have too many expectations of what it's supposed to look like, and then I can just focus on what it feels like. Through the experience of the teacher training, it's helped me to really let go of the things that are not relevant when I'm practicing. I can let go of work, I can let go of expectations for how the pose is supposed to be, and just enjoy being in the yoga. Okay. Namaste. Namaste.